So we're exploring the topic of abundance today from an energetic perspective. And often when we think of abundance, what do we think of? Money, finances. So that is one aspect of abundance, but it's not everything. So I'll invite you in this moment just to take a moment, close your eyes, get a sense of anywhere you might feel lacking in your life right now. Is there a lack of energy? A lack of feeling of, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough vitality, health, good health. I don't have enough support. I don't have enough human connection, touch. Just get a sense of what inside of you feels lacking, if anything, in this moment. And just honor where that lives inside of you. Is there an area of the body that it hangs out? Just get a sense of that. And then I'll invite you to type into the chat what category your lack is sitting in today. Where are you sensing that and feeling that? Is it finances? Is it energy? Where are you feeling scarce today? And how does that show up inside of you? Okay, so we have to consider, what is abundance? What is abundance? How does it show up in our life? And how does it seem to not show up? All right, so I'm hearing some places people are feeling lacking with vitality, all of it. Yep. Health, money, relationships, energy, motivation, and emptiness, specifically in the throat. Health, energy, money. Yeah, it's felt in the heart. Health and vitality, connection, energy, relationship, feeling it in the chest. Beautiful. Thank you for chiming in, everybody, and sharing. It makes it a lot more interactive so I can get a sense of where you're at in this moment and really be of service as we move throughout today's session. Oh, okay, we've got digestion, anxiety, yet feeling hopeful, okay. Feeling in the back of the heart. So it's interesting, right, that in the physical body, our energy gets blocked, gets trapped. And when there is a blockage in energy, in prana, in chi, in life force, there will be dis-ease, and that dis-ease may show up physically, mentally, emotionally. So that's just something to be aware of. And when we notice a trigger or a resistance or pain, this is a sign of the blockage of energy flow. So in today's class, we're going to be looking at how to create more space, essentially, so that the prana, the natural way that the energy wants to move in our being, is able to flow in its most natural way. Energy is intelligent, and it will flow where there's open spaces. Where there's blockages, it just can't move. It can't move through those areas. So really, on the most simplistic of terms, what we're doing is creating space, unblocking dense energies, dense areas. So I'm going to take us through a practice, an experience today based on theta healing. And this is a protocol that looks at reprogramming the subconscious perceptions and beliefs. And before we do that, I'm just going to introduce myself briefly, because some of you are new to me. I have been studying yoga and been a yoga teacher for over 20 years. Throughout my yoga journey, I came across Ayurvedic medicine, and through a health issue that nobody could support me with, the doctors didn't know it was an autoimmune condition, but they said, look, there's nothing we can do. That really is what inspired me to study Ayurvedic medicine and become a clinical Ayurvedic specialist. However, in the healing of my autoimmune condition, which was almost a decade, it was a big chunk of time. I was learning, I was studying a lot of things. I felt like there was something missing, like a piece of the puzzle that wasn't quite there, wasn't quite fitting in. And what I came to was various forms of energy healing modalities. So from Reiki to bioenergy to theta healing to Akashic record reading, and I've studied and immersed myself in all of these different things to find essentially what's going to work. And what I found is that until we address the subconscious limiting perceptions and beliefs, the programming, we can do all of the great, wonderful stuff externally. And that's important too, to get the strong foundation in our physical body, to eat the foods appropriate to our dosha, to exercise according to our constitutional makeup. All of this is essential. Yes, we're in a physical body. We call this anamaya kosha in yoga. And if we only do that, if we're only focused on taking vitamins and eating organic food and, touching our toes in yoga class, that will only get us so far, because we're not just a physical body. In fact, we're so much more than a physical body. We are made up of energy. This entire universe is made up of energy. And until we address the energetic self, which is the blueprint for the physical self, that is what is feeding information to our physical body and determining how our physical body is going to show up. So the mind, in particular, the subconscious mind, is essentially a set of programs that get programmed before we're 7 years old. And so it's said that our subconscious mind is really dictating about 95% of our day. That means only 5% of our actions and behaviors are conscious, are from our conscious mind. And unfortunately, about 70% of the subconscious programming is disempowering behaviors and beliefs, self-sabotage. It's based in survival and negativity, essentially, if we boil it down. So it might sound like the cards are stacked against us, right? As far as like, well, how do we shift then? If 95% of what's going on is subconscious throughout my day, 70% of that is based in contraction, in fear, in anxiety, in stress, in overwhelm. How do we move through? And for me, I found theta healing, which I'm going to share with you today, as one of the most powerful tools. And I didn't have to, I chose to connect with it and use it after the sudden death of my partner's sudden suicide. I had an experience of theta healing after his death. And I'd never done theta healing before. I was an energy healer already, and I'd studied some other practices. But one session, and I was in the depths of grief, but after one session, I felt something different. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I couldn't quite articulate it, but I felt something. I felt something shift. And it didn't mean that everything was just like, oh, now everything's roses. It wasn't like that at all. But I realized that if I kept working in this way, if I kept tapping into the energy of creation, which is essentially what we do in theta healing, we reconnect to our birthright, our connection to the energy which created us and creates all things, to nature. You can call it the universe, God, whatever word you want to use. And please don't let yourself get taken out of the practice today because of any of my languaging. If it feels disturbing to you because of past conditioning, maybe the word God, I try not to use that because I know that can be kind of triggering. Typically, I might use the word creator or source, but you can insert whatever word works for you. Maybe it's just love or nature or universe, but don't let that take you out of the practice. The other things that I would invite you into to not let you take you out of the practice is, in theta healing, it's different from just a meditation. We're actually going in, connecting to source energy, to creative energy, to divinity, and requesting a reprogram. Like a computer, computers get programmed, and it just plays out the program that it's got inserted. So if we've got an outdated operating system, this happens on my computer all the time, things get glitchy, right? If I don't update it properly, all of a sudden something's not working and I don't know how to fix it, and it's a big headache. And we're very similar in that way. We need to keep updating our operating system, because if we're working from an outdated operating system that's from 1963, Maybe we had an incident in 1963 that was, we interpreted as a trauma or a stress, and we carry that through energetically. We have that energetic signature, that energetic tone, if you will, that lives in the field, this toric field or this biofield that is an extension of who we are. We are emanating an energetic field continuously. And science is now proving that the electromagnetic frequency of the heart is so much more powerful than the brain. So when we connect to the heart center, we have a lot more ability to impact our energy field than the thinking brain, the thinking mind. So as we go through the practice today, I will speak quite quickly, maybe quicker. I'm not going to lull you into a relaxed state, but this is a reprogramming that's happening so that your mind doesn't get in the way and be like, wait a second, that's not possible, right? The mind will quickly want to shut things down. That will be the fragmented self or the ego self that often wants to get in and stay in charge, wants to stay in the old program because it's known and it's safe, and your entire identity is entwined with the program, with the conditioning. So as soon as that is threatened, even in a positive way, right, we're wanting to positively reprogram, sometimes the wounded ego mind comes up and feels incredibly threatened because essentially it will be out of a job without its place, without the role of the saboteur or the victim or the martyr, whatever it might be. Does that make sense? Just give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Okay. Let's just talk a little bit about scarcity, about lack. 90% of disease is due to stress. And let me just insert perceived stress. Because what might be stressful to you isn't to me, and vice versa. So we're all interpreting our reality, both our inner landscape and the outer landscape, through a filter. The filter is our conditioning. So our conditioning is keeping us separate, and it's keeping us suffering, and it keeps us separate from reality. So life is just happening. The moment we go in and judge, compare, decide that we like or dislike something, it's right or wrong, this shouldn't be happening. Have you had that thought recently? So maybe something in the news, this shouldn't be happening in the world, or something in your own personal life, or that person shouldn't act like that. Maybe your partner, do you ever think that about your partner? They shouldn't do that. Why are they acting like this? So every time we are resisting what is, i.e. reality, we're suffering. We're trying to fight with what's happening. And in that, it takes a lot of energy to do that. And it blocks our own energy, because somehow we've stepped into the role of thinking that we know what's best for the universe and for life and for other people. And that's a very disempowering way to live. So when we think about abundance, and when we exist in the vibrational tone of abundance, it's matched with reality. It doesn't mean we have to like what's happening, but we get to accept or be with what's happening. It doesn't mean we're passive and never speak up. It's not that at all, but that our speaking up, that our actions come from a deeper place, divine inspired place, let's call it, opposed to reactionary, ego-based, conditioned response. Very different qualities of energy there. Remember, what we want is the prana, the energy, the cosmic life force that comes in. It's the same life force that is growing the trees outside your door, that is keeping the whole solar system functioning, that is growing up little sprouts of grass through a crack in cement in the sidewalk. These miracles are also who we are, and we forget that. we forget the miracle of this existence of trillions of cells functioning every single moment. That's what you are. You are a walking, living miracle. And every time we forget that, we go into stress. And stress is responsible for so much disease. And when we're in stress, we're in fear. And when we're in fear, we're in lack. We're thinking, I'm missing something. Something's not here. I don't have enough time, energy, money, love, support. Fill in the blank, whatever it might be for you. And that sends a whole cascade of chemicals through our system. We call it the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. So when we go into these stress responses, we have a whole cascade of chemicals, stress hormones, that get fed into our system. And these stress hormones are going to amplify dis-ease. That can be mental, physical, emotional. So it's a bit of a domino effect that goes on. So to come into the root and remove the program is what the work that I do with my clients is. Yes, we also look at the superficial of the physical body, of the foods, of lifestyle, of daily routine, all of these things. But most importantly, and I invite you today to step into a place giving yourself permission to receive primarily. Without that, we're often in resistance, and everything will be an invitation. So you'll hear as I go through the theta healing that I'll be it'll sound like I'm asking questions, and these questions are, would you like this download? Would you like this new belief system? You have choice. You may not, and that is completely fine. If so, just inside your mind, you can say yes. Just affirmative. Yes, I would like that new program of abundance, of worthiness, of self-appreciation, whatever it might be. So we're going to go through that practice in a moment, and you can sit up, you can lie down, you can be comfortable. Just try and stay awake. And if you do happen to drift off, that's okay. You probably needed a little extra sleep anyway, and you can you'll still be receiving the benefits, maybe even more so, right? As our conscious mind isn't trying to get in the way. So make yourself comfortable. And remember, everything is an invitation. If this is a new process for you, if you have never experienced theta healing, just stay open in your mind, non-attached to the outcome, and we'll just see what comes through today. And then after our class, I'll open up, we'll have some time for questions to share your experiences, and I'll also tell you a little bit more about further steps if you're wanting more of this kind of work. So take a moment, sit back or lie back, close your eyes. Take a few slow, calm, deep breaths. As you slow the rhythm of your breath down, give yourself permission to be still and to relax, knowing that this time is completely for you. There's no way you can get this wrong. Just allow yourself to be in the experience without judgment, without needing to control or even needing to know or understand. But tapping into the heart space and the yearning to be free, this deep soul yearning to be free, to reconnect with the essence of who you are, to be in the naturalness of who you truly came on this planet to experience and express as. This practice allows us to be more of who we are, not from our conditioned place, but from the essence. And this might be so deeply buried, we might not even know exactly who we are or what we want or what our desires are. And that's okay if you find yourself in that place. Listen into the physical body. There's so much information and wisdom in the physical. And get a sense of the solid physical nature of the body, of the breath coming in and of the breath going out. And simultaneously soften your forehead, relax your jaw. Let your tongue rest at the back of the mouth. Allow a wave of ease to come through your throat and shoulders. Soften down through the chest and into the belly. And here we'll use our imagination, our creative potential and power. So begin by focusing at the heart. Go right into the center of the body. And then travel down through the torso, feeling, sensing into the torso, into the hips, thighs, through your knees and lower legs. And send your consciousness out through the soles of your feet, right into the center of the earth. Imagine that you touch into the center of the earth. And when you find yourself there, you discover there's a stream, an eternal stream at the core of the earth that is flowing liquid light energy bubbling up and flowing at the core of the earth. So allow this liquid light energy, this vibration of healing, of potential, of wholeness, to move up from the core of the earth. Welcome it into the soles of your feet, into your ankles, your lower legs and knees. Welcome this energy up through your thighs and into your hips. Allow this energy to open up all of the energy centers from the root up to the sacral. This liquid light moving up through the spinal column, past the solar plexus, the heart plexus, up into the throat, through the midbrain, up to the very crown of your head. Just track this energy through the core of your body, from the pelvic floor to your crown. This energy opening up space where there may have been collapse or contraction or density, where your psyche may have shut this flow of energy down to protect, to hide, to control. And this is why we feel lack, because we've forgotten that we are whole, and we've forgotten that we are an extension of divine life force. It's exhausting when we've disconnected from this energy and we're in our, I have to do it all on my own. That is extremely exhausting. So I invite you to soften into the possibility, or maybe into the knowing, into the feeling that we are connected to the energy of the universe, to the energy of the sun and the stars, the energy of nature, the energy of all that is. We are not separate from it, and we all have the same capability to connect to this source of creation. Take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out, and as you exhale, let go of your day so far. And feel this area at the top of your head and all the energy through the core of your body. And imagine above your physical head a little bubble of light. And step your consciousness. It might be in the form of a mini you that jumps into that bubble. And we're going to use this bubble as a conduit for traveling up higher into space and into consciousness, to higher realms of consciousness. So see that ball of light above your physical head. It begins to float up past the room that you're in, up into the clouds, up into the sky, and eventually out into the cosmos, past the other planets in our solar system, past the stars and the Milky Way. Keep traveling up and up and up. And eventually you'll move through various layers of light and come through a golden layer of light. And then there's more darkness. Keep traveling up through another layer of golden light and more darkness. Then you come to a layer of energy that is a jelly-like substance. So keep moving through that. Beyond that, you'll move through a layer of pink, misty energy. And keep traveling till eventually you see a doorway. Float over to the doorway and through the doorway to meet the energy of all that is. And here you turn into a tingly white light, into pure consciousness. And in this space, I request that unconditional loving be sent to every cell of your body. Thank you, it is done. And I witness this energy coming into your body. The energy of unconditional loving, filling up your cells. So abundant it moves beyond your physical body until you are surrounded in healing light energy. So bathe in that vibration of healing light energy. So Creator, I request that we realign the energy body and the physical body. So calling back your energy body into your physical body. I command that that happens now in the highest and best way for you. Thank you. It is done. So I'm witnessing matching of the physical and energetic. So some of you have disassociated throughout your life through drama or trauma, through painful experiences, and you've disconnected from your energy field. So I'm just realigning, witnessing this reconnection happening between your physical body and your energy body. And sometimes it's hard for us to feel like ourselves when those two things are not aligned and one is sort of skewed. We might not know who we are. We might be lacking confidence. So can we teach you and remind you how it feels to live from a place of confidence, and that you're worthy and deserving of trusting yourself and feeling confident? Would you like that? And this is where you can just say yes if that feels like something you would like to anchor in to your subconscious programming. And can we show you the difference between confidence and arrogance, and give you Creator's highest understanding, perspective, and truth about what true confidence is, and that you're free to operate from a place of confidence. And in fact, it's a gift to the world when you step into the confidence of who you be. Of who you be is the gift. Not what you do, but how you show up vibrationally. So can we teach you and show you that it's safe to be yourself, and that it's safe to show up for yourself, in yourself, by yourself? Would you like that? And can we lift and clear any old, outdated ancestral programs that are related to lack and scarcity? Can we lift and clear those programs and send them back to Creator's light in the highest and best way for you? Would you like that? So what I'm hearing is there's a lot of ancestral gunk that we pull forward, that we carry through and pass on to the next generation even. So this is an opportunity to honor our ancestral lineage, and also to cut the cords, the energetic cords and vibration and beliefs that are connected to having to further a reality based in fear, in lack, in scarcity, in hoarding, whether that be money or stuff or love. So can we disconnect you from any past programming that isn't of you, that is of a lineage through your matriarchal or patriarchal line that is no longer serving? Would you like that? And can we call in, anchor in the vibration of abundance? And can we teach you what it feels like to be abundant, to vibrate abundance, and that you know how that feels, and that you're worthy and deserving of being a conduit for divine abundance? And can we recalibrate your nervous system to a place that feels safe, trusting in the flow of life, trusting in abundance, trusting that if I don't have it, I don't need it, and that I'm open to receiving what the universe feels needs to come my way? And can we teach you how to be abundant with what you have, in gratitude for what you have, in appreciation for what you have, and to live a life from a daily sense of thanksgiving? Can we remind you how it feels to live your day-to-day life from a place of gratitude, and that you know how to do that, and that you're worthy and deserving of feeling gratitude as things are in this very moment? Would you like that? And can we link up all aspects of your being with gratitude for this breath, for this body, for what you do have? Can we teach you how to focus on the abundance that is present in your life already, opposed to the default conditioning of lack, of not enough, of not feeling enough, not being good enough, not having enough? And can we lift and clear the vibration of victimhood that is connected to any sense of lack, of not enoughness, and of scarcity, and send that back to Creator's light, so that you may be free to see clearly the reality in which you're existing? And can we reorient your relationship to the energy of time, to bring that into a healthy relationship of abundance of time? Can we teach you how it feels to slow time down when you need to? And what I'm hearing is to share with you one of the easiest ways to do that you all know, is to slow your breath down, which in turn slows your mind down, which in turn allows more spaciousness and slows down the perception of time. So can we teach you how to be in your nervous system in a place that is harmonious with time, and to remind you, teach you, anchor in that you have enough time, that you have an abundance of time, and that you're worthy and deserving of creating more time? Would you like that? And can we lift and clear any contraction around financial abundance, around the energy of money? Money is just a currency. We even use that term, currency. It's a flow of energy. So if we're blocking the flow of energy, maybe energy tries to come into our life and we push it away because we're not able to receive help from people. We say, no, 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 I'll do it all myself. No, 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 I won't receive a compliment. Every time we block what is so trying to come to us, every time we say no to life, we are blocking the flow of abundance on all levels. So can we reopen the circuitry so that you can perceive when life is trying to give to you? And can we open you to receive with grace and ease and clear any guilt or shame that is in your vibrational field connected to receiving? And can we teach you that you were never meant to do it all alone? That you don't have to do it all alone, that you're not alone, and that you're worthy and deserving of receiving support, and that support might not come in the way that you think it should or want it to, but there is universal divine love supporting you here and now. Can we open you to feeling that, sensing that, and receiving that, and in the highest and best way for you? Would you like that? Take a deep breath in. Can we bring in the circuitry to open up the areas of your body that are resisting the flow of energy? And what I'm hearing is that much of this is the energy flow is blocked in your body because of resentment and blame and self-shame, self-denial, self-restriction. So can we teach you how to live in a way that is self-honoring, where you're connected to self-love, self-appreciation, and where you allow the natural flow of prana to move through your system in the highest and best way for you? Would you like that? And I command that healing take place for you in the highest and best way in your physical body to release the pain, drama, and trauma that is held in the tissues, in the cells, in the organs, in the blood, in all the systems of the body that is no longer serving. It is commanded that this pain body be reset to its original state of grace, of ease, of naturalness, of knowing its divine nature. Would you like that? Can we reconnect you to your relationship with divinity and to your divine essence? Can we teach you that you know who you are, that you know why you came here, you know what your essence is and how to live from that place? And can we also show you what isn't of your essence? And can we teach you that you have choice in how you react and how you respond and how you behave and how you think and believe in this life? That what has come before does not have to be what comes ahead. That from this very moment here and now, you have choice to wake up to be who you want to be without any preconceived identity from the past pulling you into the future of more of the same. That when you wake up, you have choice from the micro to the macro, from every little decision. There is choice for you. And can we teach you that it is safe to align with your heart? It is safe to align with your inner knowing. It is safe to trust yourself. So what I'm hearing is many of you don't trust yourself. You don't trust where that knowing is and how to access that. Can we teach you how it feels to trust yourself? And can we teach you and show you that the key to that is in your physical body? The more that you pay attention to your physicality, to the sensations in your body, the more you will trust that your body is guiding you into what is right or what is not in your highest and best. So can we show you that that is inherent and it is just a skill that you've disconnected from and can increase and improve upon moment to moment? And if you're already really super connected to your intuition, to your higher self's guidance, can we amplify that in the highest and best way for you? And can we align you to making choice from love, not fear, and teach you that you know how it feels to make choices from love and from wholeness. And that feels very different in the body. You see, when we operate from lack, it feels so terrible because it's not who you are. You are whole and complete here and now. You are whole and complete here and now. You are whole and complete here and now. Can we remind you of that on a soul level? That you are whole and complete here and now. There is nothing lacking. There is nothing wrong with you. You are whole and complete here and now. You accept that you are whole and complete here and now. Take a deep breath in. I am whole and complete here and now. I am open to believing I am whole and complete here and now. I'm open to beginning to see myself as whole and complete here and now. And I am open to living my life from a place of wholeness, of completeness, of knowing that I am an extension of divine, creative life force energy, and that it is safe for me to do so. Take in a deep breath. Exhale out through the mouth. Again, take in a deep breath. Exhale and relax. Allow yourself to feel, to notice how you're sensing your inner space and your outer space right now. And remember that ball of light that you traveled up into the cosmos in. So see that ball of light and the mini you starting to come back down through the darkness, past the other planets in the solar system, past the stars, back down into our atmosphere, back down into the room that you're in, and see that ball of light hovering above your head, above the physical body. And come back down through your crown. Let your consciousness move all the way through your physical, again, out through the soles of your feet, coming back to the core of the earth. Remember that liquid light, that stream right at the core of the earth, and go in and bathe in that stream, swim around in there. Immerse yourself in that healing light energy. It is infinite, it is eternal. The more you take does not mean someone else has less. Give yourself permission to receive. Give yourself permission to be in wholeness. Give yourself permission to feel the truth of you here and now. And then allow this energy to come up from the very center of the earth, all the way up, bringing healing into your toes, into your ankles, recalibrating your physical body to health, to contentment, to peace, to joy, to self-appreciation, to respect. Let this energy come up through the legs, up into the pelvis, all the way up into your heart space. And when it gets there, place your right hand on your heart and your left hand on top of the right hand. And thank you for this remembrance. Thank you for this remembrance of who I am. Thank you for this remembrance of wholeness. Thank you for reminding me of the truth of reality, of the truth of presence, of the truth of love. Breathe into your heart. As you exhale, relax every muscle of the body. And in this heart space, I invite you to just consciously think of 3 things that you're grateful for, that truly, not things you think you should be grateful for or are pretending to be grateful for, but in this moment, 3 things. Bring them into your mind, into your heart, and let the energy of gratitude exist in your cells. Allow a little smile to come across your face. And simply observe how you're feeling. Notice if there have been any shifts or changes from the beginning of the session today until now. And take all the time that you need. When you feel ready, you can slowly open the eyes and come back into the day. So this is a good time to have a sip of water if you've got some water beside you. It helps. The theta healing can be very subtle. You might have felt something shift. You might have felt nothing. Okay, so I want to remind you that whatever your experience is, it's okay. Maybe you feel agitated or frustrated. So however you're experiencing this is okay. You haven't done anything wrong. If you're not in a blissful state, it doesn't mean that you're not getting benefits. And then just feel your feet touching the ground. So really coming back into this reality. Look around you, notice if things feel a little brighter, a little clearer. Breathe in to the room. So for me, I have plants in my living room, and I really like to breathe in and see the plants as they're alive too. And I forget that, right? They're just here, and it's like, oh, they're living, breathing with me. We're in this co-creation. So I'm curious and invite you to share in the chat how you're feeling right now, how that experience was for you. Feel free to type that in. I'm curious if you noticed a change from how you felt at the beginning of arriving today until now. Jason feeling peaceful, calm. Barb, more present and calm. Wonderful. Brigitte, more relaxed and peaceful. Lalita feeling calm, more relaxed. Nice, Maya. Centered, powerful, expanded, more centered, connected, more clear and grounded, lighter, emotional. Yes, that can happen. So please be gentle as things get worked through the system, right? As energy gets unblocked, sometimes what comes up is something that's been trapped in there, stuck in there. That might be a release of emotion. So beautiful. More calm, more faith. When we were going into the light, I had warm tears down my eyes, and my left hand was magnetic. I feel bright effect, beautiful. Jelly-like and emotional, yes. Beautiful. Less overwhelmed, calmer. More away, okay. Relaxed, centered. So just take a breath. Take a deep breath. We've become so disconnected, and this is why it can feel like we're lacking, like there's something wrong with us, like we're not enough, that something's not enough, anything's not enough, right? And this whole, I believe that the disease of our time is the disease of not enoughness. And when we're perceiving through that filter, we're disconnected, we're looking through a filter of distortion, and it's very painful to look through the lens of lack, because ultimately underneath that we interpret that as there must be something wrong with me. And often our sense of lack comes from comparison. And please know that the comparison, maybe we look across and see our neighbor or someone on social media and we think, well, how come they have so much money and I'm struggling? Comparison is suffering. We don't know what that person's karma might be. All we need to focus on is right here, to know that the universe is not an idiot, that the universe is more intelligent than us, than our individual self, that what we need, we will have. If you don't have it in this moment, it doesn't mean the wounded ego will interpret it as there's something wrong with me, or I'm not good enough, or something not enough because I don't have what I want. And that's like a little kid having a tantrum because the parent won't give them the fourth candy. But I want it. And the wisdom of the parent says, no, I'm not going to give that to you right now because it's not in your highest and best. Likewise, the universe has an intelligence and the universe knows what you want. You don't need to vision board about it. You don't need to keep reminding it. The universe knows what you want. For you to get clearer and match up what you want with what you have will bring you much greater peace. And the ego will say, well, then I'll never get anything more if I don't want more. It's not true. Life is in constant flux and change. We know that. We've seen that. So just because we don't have everything that we think we want in this moment, it doesn't mean more is not coming. It doesn't mean change is not coming. In fact, change absolutely is coming. It's coming in this moment, and this moment, and this moment, and this moment. And when we can meet it with arms wide open, without deciding it's good or bad, it's right or wrong, we just meet our life in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. Then we're in the flow. Then we're abundant. That is true abundance. Then we are whole and complete, and we're not living from the contracted, scarce, fearful, stressful mode, because we know I am a child of God. And this divine universe is bringing me everything I need. And goodness, if I get out of the way and stop pushing away the compliments, the support, the energy, the wisdom that comes through, life becomes a lot more graceful. A lot more graceful. And I know that you've had those experiences. And I'm also imagining you've had the experience of the other, right? The fighting with life, the fighting with reality, the like, I wish it were different. But it's not. So all we have authorship over is, what am I going to make it mean? We're constantly making up meaning about everything. So our interpretation of reality is going to cause us distress and dis-ease or enlightenment. That's our choice. That's our choice. So I'm going to open up the lines for questions in a moment. And before we do that, I'm going to take a few minutes to share a couple of ways that you can move further with this kind of work. There are two ways, well, there are three ways actually. The first, if you're like, ooh, I kind of like this theta healing thing. I'd like more of that, more reprogramming of my subconscious beliefs. I have a theta healing program, which is essentially a 9 audio collection of theta healings on different topics like forgiveness, ancestral clearing, body image, vitality, those kinds of things. That can be found on my website. And that's, you just own those audios. You can listen to them. I suggest as often as possible to kind of marinate in that energy more and more and more. Another way that I'm working with people right now, I have an upcoming online inner empowerment mentorship program. And I'm going to share my screen with you to tell you a little bit more about this program. I offer this once a year, and it's it's taking the best of what I've learned, experienced, and taught over the last 25 years and condense it down and support the individuals through group classes, and then also through a one-on-one session and email support in between. So we start October 21st. We meet Wednesdays at 9 a.m. online, just like this on Zoom. I keep these classes small so that you can have personal support and look at things more specific to your life. In each one of those classes, we will be doing energy healings, just like today. So for 3 months, you get to marinate in uplifting vibrational healing, that it's not just a moment of experience of, oh, that was nice. We're going into the root, we're going deeply. And in my experience and many of my students, you'll notice changes in your external reality and life the more that you engage with this. It's just the way that it is. You're also going to get lessons and support materials through each module, recipes, exercises, handouts, and an optional Facebook community group. I've broken up the program to look at all aspects of your being. So we really start through the lens of Ayurveda, looking at the physical, looking at, foods, daily routine, the things to set you up for an environment for healing to happen on the physical level. We can't ignore that. It's a big part of our life is the physical. And if things are, if we're running upstream, trying to swim upstream against our natural flow in that respect, things will be difficult. And once that is established, that's going to make the energetic transformation much faster and easier as well, because everything's just in greater alignment. And that's really what we're doing is in this program, I'm supporting you to come back to who you are, who you truly came here to be. And it's painful when we're doing something else. It's painful when we're living out of a programming of scarcity, a program of I'm not good enough, a program of self-blame, comparison. Those are very painful programs to be operating from. So week 1, we're really setting a strong container. I'm just going to move through these quite quickly. And if you are interested, all of this can be found on my website, all this information and more. Weeks 2 to 4, as I just mentioned, we're focusing on Ayurveda. And then we get deeper into looking at the more subtle blockages of things. So how to navigate the shadow, right? The darkness. We can't spiritually bypass and jump over that. We need to learn how to move through it. So we're developing resiliency. And essentially that's crucial to live a joyful life, is how do we create greater resiliency? Part of that is clearing where we're blaming and resenting, where we're feeling like a victim. And it might be subtle for you, or that might be very prominent. I teach you more about energy medicine and how to shift your own energetic signature through your mind, through your emotions, and through some energy practices. We have integration. There's a whole module on how do we connect to our higher self intuition and higher self guidance. That's really key so that we can make decisions from a place that feel aligned and inspired instead of, again, an outdated program. We look at authentic expression so that we're not waiting for our external, for other people's approval or recognition for us to step into who we really are, but that we can confidently know who we are and be who we are. And that truly is the gift. We are the gift and we're all unique. And that's the gift in the world, is our uniqueness. And when we're trying to be like somebody else or live out of an old program, it's distorted and we're not fully giving of ourselves. We're blocking off the flow. And then we learn how to activate our potential and embody it. So this is the 12 weeks that we go through, and that takes us right into 2021. We end in January. So you've got some support to get through the rest of 2020 if it's been a challenging year for you, like some others. And maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's been a joyful year and you just really want to expand and move beyond being good. You want to move into frickin' fantabulous. I just made that word up, but it sounds pretty good to be fantabulous. And you want to really exist in that energy. So that's coming up. If any of that resonates with you, reach out sooner than later. We start in 1 week's time. The class is filling up. I'm taking a limited number of people so that we can keep it contained. And you can go to innerempowermentmentorship.com or on my website, but either of those. And there's an application form, and you can fill out the application form, and I'll be in touch, and we can connect and see if that is a good program that is suited for you, that would really serve you. Because that's important, right? That it is a good time and good fit, and something that will be useful for you in your life. Because it's not for everybody. It's really for people that are really ready to say yes, that are really willing to say, you know what, I would love some support, and I would love to move beyond myself, beyond who I think I am, into a space that feels more expansive and that feels more joyful. And it's not a quick fix, right? This isn't like some magic wand that gets waved in front of us. It's about teaching you processes, the same processes that I used after my partner's suicide, inside my own mind, to recreate neural pathways, to recalibrate myself to a place of joy instead of, being depressed the rest of my life, because could have gone that way for sure. That would have been a valid option. But I know that no matter what you're going through and what you have been through, there is a different way, a way that is more expansive, a way that is you connected to knowing you are whole and complete and connected to the source of your creator. Okay, some questions here. Great. So now is a great time for questions. I'm going to read some out of the chat, and then you're also welcome to unmute yourself and ask me anything if you've got questions about the practice that we did today, about the energy healing, or about the mentorship program, any of those things at all. Okay, so question is, what does energetic signature mean? Beautiful. So that's just something that I started saying because it feels like there's an imprint, there's a tone, there's a signature of energy. In yoga, we talk about samskara. Samskaras are mental impressions. So if you imagine an impression into something, whether it's like a hand print into the sand, there's a groove, there's an impression that's made. In that way, so I use that interchangeably as a signature, an energetic tone or impression in our system that is there. There's a quality. So maybe someone has an energetic signature in their toric field of anger, of frustration. There's going to be a very different quality to that than the energetic signature of compassion, for example. There's a different vibrational frequency, literally. And that can be, they can test those and even feel, not feel, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but gauge those frequencies now, sort of scientifically put those numbers. The frequency of anger opposed to the frequency of love is very different. So that's when I talk about energetic signature, that's what I'm referring to. Kanti talking about the cost of the mentorship program. The cost of the mentorship program, it's interesting, right? How we have been conditioned in our languaging. So cost, what is it going to cost me? I think of it as an investment, of course. And whenever I'm also giving money, because we're talking about abundance today, right? And the flow of currency. So when I'm going to pay a bill, for instance, I used to pay bills like knuckle-handed, and now I move with gratitude. Thank you. I'm paying a hydro bill. Well, I have hydro. I'm in gratitude for that. I'm paying internet bill. I'm grateful for that. Well, not always. I've been having internet troubles, but generally I try to be in gratitude of like, okay, well, I'm in gratitude for this. So I have retrained myself to stop looking at things as costing. Now, if we feel it costs us something, then maybe we're not doing the right thing. Kanti, I know exactly what you mean. This is a little bit of a tangent on that, but I really want to bring forth how we look at things, how we perceive things. So I perceive what I'm going to do and flow my currency in the world. I want to flow that to an investment, because where we invest our currency, it expands, right? If you're going to invest your money, when we do so wisely, the idea is that our finances expand. Same with our physical energy. Where we're going to invest that, you want to invest it into a place that it's going to expand. So maybe you're investing your energy into a relationship that is debilitating, or a job that is contracting, but we're kind of investing energy, but there's no return in that. And that's just what a lot of people do. Eventually that will pull us down. But the physical investment for the mentorship program is 1,900 Canadian dollars, is the actual answer to that cost question. Renee, excited to be part of the program. Awesome, I can't wait too. I tend to be reactive and defensive easily at the moment. And she says it's an investment and gift for life, worth it. You are worth it. We make different choices when we believe that we're worth something to when we're not. And it can be scary, right? It can be scary when we're investing in anything. And I'm not just talking about this program for those of you that are interested, but it could be anything at all. And when we're making choices from alignment, it's very different from choices from fear. We might also have a moment of like, yes, and then the ego comes in and shuts it down. So I've had this many times in my life when I've really wanted something and I get that yes feeling. And then right after it comes in the mind of like, oh, you shouldn't because da da da. So recently I've just made a really big investment. And I had a little bit of the ego mind come in and be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Is this crazy? That kind of story going on. But when I feel into the sensation of, is this in my highest and best? It's just a yes. And then when the clutter comes in, that's different. So then I come back to my knowing and I'm going, no, it's okay in my body. Even though there's some fears, there's some stuff to process and work through because of a big commitment, a big investment. And then I come back to going, okay, what's the work I need to do inside myself? Oh, maybe it's I need to go and be with my inner child for a moment and let her know it's okay. Everything's okay. Or to be with the part of me who doesn't believe, oh, is this too crazy? Is this a silly idea? All of those things. So whenever we're getting triggered, whenever something comes up in our energy field, i.e. in our mind, in our body, in our emotions, where it's catching our attention, it's not a problem. It just means that there's some circuitry that's lacking. Ideally, the flow of prana runs through the system with ease and grace. When there's blockage, pain, contraction, the circuitry isn't built yet for the energy to flow through there. So you might notice different parts of your bodies where the circuitry is, I just want to say contracted, not broken. I always think of it as the kink in the garden hose. You get the flow of water. The minute you kink it, oh, throat chakra, oh my God, I go to speak my truth and everything is cut down. Or I just can't feel like I can open my heart. It feels blocked. It feels contracted. This is just where we haven't developed the circuitry so that the energy can move through. And sometimes that's because of experiences that we've had in the past that we cut down, shut down, lock down, and then the energy can't move through that area. So for instance, the throat, maybe you've got thyroid issue comes up, maybe that energy is not moving through this center in its ideal way. It will show up as a physical disease eventually, right? When the flow of energy, if the energy just wants to move through the central channel of Sushumna like it's meant to, but oh my gosh, I can't speak my truth. I feel blocked in communicating my needs, for example, then that energy that once just flowed through here, maybe as a small child, it has to distort. It's like it tries to find a way. Well, I can't get through there anymore. So then it's distorted. And when we're living from an energy of distortion, it's very confusing. And that can start to feel like, well, I don't even know what my truth is. I don't even know how I would set a boundary. I don't even know how to put myself first or my self-care first. And it's just because we haven't developed the circuitry in certain areas. And this is when we look at the chakra system, it so beautifully shows us and tells us what's going on psycho-emotionally in these certain areas. And it just means that there's an opportunity to welcome in more loving into those places and bring the truth back online, so to speak. So are there any other questions or comments? You're welcome to unmute yourself. You're welcome to type in the chat. Getting many thank yous in the chat, so you're welcome to all of you, and I appreciate you for showing up or for listening to the replay on the recording and to taking this time.
And Melanie, what is the third option? You said 3 options.
Oh, thank you.
Proceed, yeah.
Thanks for keeping me in line. Yeah, I did say 3 options. The third option is I work with a handful of clients one-on-one throughout the year. Okay. And that's through an application process. I don't work with just everybody. That can be found on my website. So that's if you're really wanting individual support to dive into some of these areas. Yeah. Thank you for being so astute.
So that again is 3 months.
No, that's individual. So if that's something of interest, I would just say email me individually about that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Kanti, go ahead. I didn't.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that investment cost. That alone is so much of a transformation for me. Another way to look at things.
Another way to look at things. And that's really what our healing is just a different perspective.
Yeah.
And that's been something I've worked on and had to do a lot of healing around. I have an ancestral line that runs scarcity and lack on the financial level through one of my lineages. And I had to work at rewiring my perception. I still do on some things, right? Around what is this costing me, or what am I investing in this? And if I feel like it's costing me something, then maybe I don't want to do it. Right. And it's like, and I feel there are certain things I want to invest in because there is a return on investment. That can be material things. That can be things for our mind, body. It's all energy at the end of the day. So I'm glad that was helpful. I didn't mean to point you out in that way, but just really wanted that to be a really beautiful teaching moment.
That sets a tone of mind, gratitude from the very beginning.
Correct.
Of the gratitude of the present moment, what you're doing, everything.
Yes, precisely. I'm really glad that resonated with you. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Kanti. Good to see you again too. All right. People are saying thank you. Your work is always profound and healing. You're welcome, Luba. See you Wednesday. Yes, Branka, looking forward to it. Thank you very much for this amazing healing and your kindness. You're beautiful. Oh, thank you. All right, I'm going to leave you with one short prayer. And for those of you who have studied with me recently, you know that I love this book, Change Me Prayers by Tosha Silver. So I'm going to just read her divine prosperity prayer from this book. You can have your eyes open or closed. So divine prosperity. May I always trust the divine flow. May I always know there is enough. Change me into one who always trusts you. Change me into one who feels worthy to open up to true abundance. Change me into one who feels worthy to open up to true abundance. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing in this today. My intention is that either a little bit or a whole lot, that something today will shift inside of you so that you feel more whole, that you feel more connected. Because when we feel abundant, we can be generous. And when we feel abundant and we can be generous, we can give our time, our energy, our financial resources, if that's what's required, our food. This is how we can change the planet. If we're in fear, if we're in lack, we're going to be focused on me, my, mine. We're going to be focused in survival, and we can't be a contribution from that state. And this for me was one of the biggest incentives to work on my own money story issues from the past, because I want to be a contribution. And I know that I can only be that when I'm seeing clearly, when I'm seeing reality for what it is. Doesn't mean it's always pretty, but I know, as Tasha Silver's words say, there's always enough. There is always enough. And if I don't have it, I don't need it in this moment, and trusting that whatever I need will come to me. And that doesn't mean we just sit back and do nothing. It means we listen to, what am I inspired to do? Where am I inspired to move from? And from that way of living, true connection, true inspiration, and wholeness, we make very different choices. And we literally get to create our reality that way. From, I'm choosing how to perceive. Am I perceiving from lack, or am I perceiving from wholeness in this moment? And that is a choice. And it's also a practice. It takes some time, especially if we have some really deep grooves, some deep energetic signatures around lack. It might, and it might not, but it might take some time to rework those patterns. Okay. Renee, the book is called Change Me Prayers, Tosha Silver. Yeah. All right, beautiful people. So great to see you all. Thank you for being here. May you have a blessed day. May you shine your light into your own heart, and then also let that flow out to whoever you come in contact with today. So thank you, thank you, thank you.